You can reference it later. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to share my screen so you can see what's going on. All right, so let's go get this party started. So I hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. So we're going to go over, oh, sorry, dizzy. So we are just going to go over a few things. One thing that is the summer bug is kind of, I think, hit all of us, or maybe I'm speaking for myself. So we want to basically just dive into what do we need to do to finish 2018 strong. So we're going to have a discussion about that. So I have you guys open. So if you guys have any questions or any comments, you guys can jump in at any point. So we're going to basically go over, oh, sorry, I missed the agenda part. We're going to go over the format of the call is basically we're just going to run through this, answer any questions you have at the end. We're going to go over some goals, reminders, and then we're going to talk about how we can tactically go into the end of the year. So July was a good month for you guys. Those of you who had your first closings or multiple closings or your first listing, good job. So you'll see on the right-hand side, this is comparing it to last year. You will, if you're first year in business, it's great. If you've been 2 or 3 years in the business, great as well, because you'll start to have a history. So we have a 3-year history at coaching, so we want to measure it. We had about the same amount of agents in coaching last year, so we're pretty much apples to apples. So we had an increase in closings and volume. The only thing that was down a little bit last month was pendings. Which is what we call a lag indicator. So what that means is that it'll, of course, since we didn't have pendings in July, we won't have closings in August.
Drew,
yeah.
This is Catherine. I can't see anything except it says coaching with Drew. Am I seeing the right thing, or is it my computer messing up?
Can everybody else see it or no? Does anybody else see the screen? Yes, no?
I can see your...
Yeah.
And then I'll redo it.
Yeah, because you have Mastermind and my... yep, I got it now. Thank you.
I just had to reset it. Maybe it's my little... Who knows? You know. So I just wanted you guys to see the volume on July. Our goal was 7.6 million, which I always set our goals higher. So August, our goal is 8.5 million. So I know everybody wants to focus obviously on their individual production, which is exactly what I want to do as well as your coach. But I want you to see, I take all of your individual goals and I put them together to create this August goal. So all of us together, by hitting our goals, will hit 8.5 million. I'll tell you, that is the highest volume of the year. When we hit 8.5. So what are you guys feeling in the market right now when you're going on appointments with sellers and buyers? Do you feel like you're getting more listings, taking listings? Do you feel like buyers are writing offers? Can we spend a couple minutes just talking about kind of what's going on in the market? Anybody getting a pulse? Is it slow? Is it busy? Are you slammed busy? You want it to be busier? What's some of your take on that? Nothing? Nobody has an opinion?
I mean, I'm newer, but definitely I feel like it's slowing down, and people, now that school is coming, they either feel defeated and feel like they're going to miss the school year rush and want to wait till next year.
Yeah, so I definitely think that...
Because they're getting priced out.
Right. And we're getting ready to go into where we got to get the kids in school. We don't want to deal with listing our house right now. So we want to make sure this last 3 months, which we'll talk about in a second, is really the last push right before Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we really want to be focusing, and that's what we're going to talk about today, is what can we do to really push this last 2 or 3 months to get the most out of the market. I do think it's I don't know if you've seen on social media masterminds, but people are saying it's kind of a shift. I see indications that it is moving. Whenever we hear the word shift, people always, I don't know, think about like the sky is falling, we're going to have like a recession. I do think it's somewhat seasonal, but one of the things that we talk about at Keller Williams a lot is following the consistencies of your activities, and that'll help sustain some of that movement. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. So just a couple reminders. I'm not going to read the whole thing off to you, but there is Amazing Race. I'll talk to you guys in a second about that. That's on the 29th. And then September 13th, I don't know if you saw this on the calendar. We haven't really started promoting this much. We will in the next couple days. But there is, oh, it doesn't actually say what it is. It actually is called Win with Sellers. What am I? So you actually is Win with Sellers, and Win with Sellers is it's $29, and what it is it is a robust version of Ignite. If you remember Ignite, the very first part of Ignite talks about sellers, and then the last part talks about buyers. Win with Sellers is a full day 9 to 4:30 class where they're really going really deep into more meat and content. And we're actually, the person that's teaching it, she's coming in from Virginia Beach. Her name is Dawn Miller. So she's a mega agent, and she's going to be teaching us Win with Sellers. So it's $29. It's going to give you a huge manual. They're going to have it spiral bound and printed. And then they're going to have lunch. So I definitely think this is for every level. I personally, that was one of the first ones I took with joining Keller Williams. It has a lot of content, and it is definitely like Ignite on steroids. So, and it's something I would definitely want you to invest in for 29 bucks. So if you see that Eventbrite link, September 13th, I would love for you guys to go. You'll notice I teach out of it a lot when I'm coaching you guys, so you'll have a ton of material for that. Also, September 17th is called Peak Producers. Brian Buffini, and that's the actual creator of Peak Producers, his model and system is very similar to what we teach at Keller Williams, but it's about building relationships, working through referral. And Kathy, our broker here, she is actually a Peak Producers instructor. So she will start it on September 17th, and you'll see that it's $395. So it's not, the least expensive class, and yet it's a full week from starting on the 17th, and then it's every Wednesday for 12 weeks. And it walks you through. It has a manual. It has access to a free CRM that you could try. It has different videos. So if you're looking to see your business more running by referrals, maybe not using cold calling, but more like relationship building, Buffini would definitely be the Peak Producers class I would recommend you doing. We only do it once a year. It's $395. Kathy will send an email with a link to it, and they'll ship the materials to your house so you're ready for the class starting on the 17th. So I just wanted you to know, if you have any specific questions about Buffini, you can ask me, or I can connect you with some agents that use that system. Contest, I mentioned this at the last time. I've only had one person really engage in this, which is curious. It really is just adding to your network of real estate agents, adding some database contacts, only 50. You may have seen us be texting you and calling you and emailing you about the Kelly app because we're actually, as of the end of August, they're going to be using, our company's using that a lot to communicate with you. And so we want to see that. And then your mobile app. So I don't know who doesn't need 50 bucks, but I'd love for you guys to participate in that. And it'll be all the way through September. And then Power Hour. I know we had the summer bug, but do you guys know that there's Power Hour every day? In fact, there's one today at 12 noon. So what if I'm not in the room? So there's sometimes I do have an overlapping appointment. I'd love for if you are in the room to be able to kind of show your leadership skills off and make it happen. Just sign in. You guys can practice scripts. I also like for you guys to almost use like a buddy system. There's no reason why you shouldn't be making calls by yourself. See if there's another agent that maybe you've connected with in coaching that you can bring with you, all right? And make sure you know that it's 2 per week. So I'm going to start tracking this again. I kind of gave a 2 or 3 week break. I apologize. Maybe I should have stayed on you a little bit harder. I thought you needed a little summer break, but we're back in the swing of things. Amazing Race. So we've done this for 2 years. I don't know if anybody in coaching has done this in the past, but this is a couple years ago we started this. It's a scavenger hunt activity. So basically what happens if you've ever watched Amazing Race is we're going to give you a list of activities to do. So some of them are kind of silly, like take a picture with a fire hydrant, But a lot of them are, hey, go into a hairdressing place and say you're in a contest and ask them if you could give them your business card. So it's just trying to get you in the mindset of asking for business. It's fun. We'll do selfies. We'll be texting pictures to me. You will have a partner. So I've heard just through rumor mill that people are nervous about doing this activity. It is designed to have fun. It's designed to just embrace, you being a real estate agent, getting you comfortable. We're not gonna do anything that's illegal, immoral. It's literally just designed to keep you in a mindset of always asking for referrals. So I will resend out a sign up. I would like for you, if you have an idea of who you want to partner with, put the person's name in there. Let me mute some ads real quick because I know that there's a few of you that are background noise. Real quick. All right. So that gets through the Amazing Race real quick. Maybe. I don't know what this thing's doing here. All right, so then let's go into, so I was doing a little math yesterday. Actually, I was using an app. So I took today's date through the middle of basically the end of November before Thanksgiving. Also, I was doing it because I know that it takes about 35, 45 days to close a transaction. So we really have 3 months and 16 days until we really kind of hit the end of 2018. So what I wanted to make sure is, what are we going to do to make the most of the 108 days we have left? So those of you that are new, or those of you who've been in real estate for 10 years, it doesn't matter. We only have so many days in the year, right? So I want us to just make sure we're focusing on some items to kind of make sure we're making the most of the opportunities to hit our goals. So first thing is, we need to know what your goal is and then figure out what the gap is. And so I don't have to read the screen, but I just basically want you to see how many homes have you sold, or what is your goal for the year, and then divide it by the 3 months. It says divided by 3 weeks. I meant 3 months. 3 months that we have remaining, because I want to know what that gap is. So in this example, we have basically a little bit over 2 houses per month. We just want to know what that is so we can kind of be realistic to see what we need to do to get that gap covered. The second thing is, all of you probably have a start of a pipeline that I want you guys to be aware of. And that pipeline is huge. So rather than getting or focusing on new leads, you probably have some leads in your pipeline that you could kind of convert. So one thing I've also noticed is that some of you are not updating your pipeline. So hopefully everybody knows what the pipeline is. Let me just refresh it and show you. So if you have your spreadsheet that I send you guys, or that I shared with you when you joined coaching, it is just a tab on there, and it just says pipeline. So it's right here. There's pipeline. So I want you guys to use the pipeline. It has listings and buyers, and you rank them A, B, and C. The reason why we're using this, and it's like a substitution for not a substitution for your database, but it's basically going to cherry pick the ones that you know that you're going to actually buy or sell with you within the end of the year. So make sure you're using your pipeline tool. I use one, Kathy uses one, mega agents use them, teams use them, you guys use them. It's a tool that we use, every single agent in KW uses, to see, it's the closest to a crystal ball to see what you have in your pipeline, if it's going to come to fruition for 2018. So reminder, A, B, and C. I also see that sometimes we're not, I don't know that we're not honest with ourselves, but sometimes we rank people that are a little higher than they should be. And A is somebody that wants to buy or sell with you within 15 days. So within a couple weeks, they should be either under contract or they should be listing with you. A lot of the people that I see that are A's probably should be B's. So I want you to update that, and I want you to then text me when you have that updated, because I'll go in there, look at it, and let's just look realistically what you have to help fill the gap of your transactions. Those of you that have listings, so one of the cool things is that we have listings. One of the things I'm noticing is listings are not selling as fast. So with that, I would like for you guys, if it's over 30 days on the market or right at 30 days on the market, I'd like for you to redo your CMA and meet with your sellers. Also, I would like to work with you one-on-one with the listing. So you and I'd like to sit down, go over the pictures, go over the description, go over where you're advertising and marketing it, and make sure we're getting all our bang for our buck for the listings. Because you guys worked super hard to get the listings. Now we want to see those babies go under contract. I need you to make sure kind of you're asking yourself, like, can I count on these active listings closing and within that 3-month gap? Because if we can't, it's just an unrealistic or unsettling situation where we're either going to need to replace the listing with another one that'll sell quicker, or we're going to need to have some fierce conversations with sellers. And that may require us to maybe role play some scripts on that, because if you're not obviously in the mindset of, not arguing with sellers, but definitely having a fierce discussion on what we need to do to get it sold, we need to kind of team up and help each other make that happen. All right, guys. The last thing, there's a couple other things, but I want to make sure that you know what your 3 pillars of lead generation are. So if everybody on the call, you need to have those kind of in your head. So I put an example here. This particular one is open house, your database, and your farm. Make sure that you know what your 3 pillars are. If you feel like you're struggling with your pillars on which ones to choose, if they're not giving you good results, again, talk to me one-on-one. But we've got to make sure there's a consistent method and communication with all 3. If you have more than 3, be careful about that. I'll tell you that based on the model and even in my own experience, sometimes you work on too many things and you don't have the quality that you want. So let's talk about that one-on-one. Make sure you know what your 3 pillars are. And if you're struggling, I want you to kind of reach out to me so we can kind of maybe brainstorm on some ideas. And then use your database at 100%. So one thing is I'm asking you guys on the call, I would like to actually check in on your database. So what I'd like for you to do, and this is some homework, is I'd like for you to email me your username and your password for your MyKW account, which is your eEdge database. What I'd like to do is, with your permission, when you're in my one-on-one coaching with me, I'm going to pull up your database, and you and I are going to look at your database, and we're going to work on cleaning it up. We're going to work on making sure that your touch systems are correct, the 12, the 8x8s, and the 36 touches, and we're going to make sure you're setting reminders. Again, we want to inspect what we expect. We know there's always a lot thrown at you, but I do know that if you're using your database at 100%, it will definitely help the gap if you're not on track for your goals. Okay, so homework is email me your username and password. There's nothing secret in there anyway. It's not like it's your bank account routing number. So like that, I'll put that on your coaching prep form so we can log in together. And I just want to be able to look that up and look at what the activities you're doing. All right, so make sure that you email me. I would love for you to do that within the next 30 minutes so you don't forget. And the last thing is focus on appointments. So know your appointments goals. We need to know what that goal is each week. Practice some scripts for that and using the 4 conversations tracker. So I don't know if you guys know what the 4 conversations tracker is. Hopefully you do. Actually, I was looking. Do I have that in here? Hold on, let me see if I put that in there. Oh, I'll do it a different way. It's basically the 4 conversations is appointments, how many listings, how many closings, and your profit. So let me go into that real quick. Whoops, your goals. So this is the 4 conversations tracker form. So you can see it on my screen. It's basically you just print it out and you'll say this month's goal and where you're at. So the first one kind of looks like a domino. I want you to make sure you're focusing on your listing appointments. So most of you have anywhere between 1 appointment a week to 2 appointments a week. Some have more. But if we're focusing on our appointments, everything else will take care of itself, kind of like a domino effect. So I want to be aware of the appointments. The last thing that I wanted to go over that's actually not on this slide is that we are as a leadership team, we are creating a binder for you. So one of the things, the feedback that we found is that when you onboard at Keller Williams, we have so many tools and so many websites and so much going on that sometimes it can be, and I hate this word, overwhelming. So what we're doing, and I just actually put a prelude to it, if you can see my screen here, we're putting a binder together with some tabs, and it'll be a 3-ring binder. It's going to have onboarding, it's going to have goal sheets, accountability, lead gen. You'll see all of these. It's basically everybody's going to get this binder, and if you go to any training class, you can hole punch it and add it to it. If you're looking for names and phone numbers or checklists or anything, it's all going to be in one spot in a binder. So we're printing that off. We're just finalizing. It's taken us like, I don't know, 13 or 14 hours to put this binder together. We hope that it's going to be helpful to you guys because we know that there's a lot going on in your personal world and in your business, and we want to make sure we kind of help you stay organized. And also it'd be a resource for you guys if you had questions. So be on the lookout for your binder. We're printing those and going to be putting those together in the next week. So I'll be getting your binders to you guys, whether during our one-on-one coaching appointments or if you're onboarding with Shelly, if you're super new. But hopefully those binders will kind of get some clarity. And it has the 4 conversations. It has tracking sheets for lead generation. It has some of the basic functioning tools that you need to run your business. All right. So just to get a recap, what do you guys think about what's your mindset going into this year, the rest of it, basically of 108 days? Do you guys feel good about this year? Do you feel, what's your thought process going into the next 60 to 90 days of your business? Can I get you guys to honest opinion? You don't have to, it doesn't always have to be rainbow and sunshine, but what are your guys' thoughts on the market and how you're heading into the last part of the year? Anybody have an opinion? I see people on, I don't know who caller 2, 3, 4 are because they didn't put their name on there. So one of the things I just want to make sure you guys do is if you guys are feeling like you're in a slump, if you feel like you're lost the momentum because of the summer, that's why I'm booking appointments. So you'll see, and like I know, Matt, we need to switch your appointment up. You see that I scheduled some appointments. I want to make sure you guys are meeting with me so we can talk through some strategies specifically in your business that maybe would be a little bit different than what we discussed today. So when I'm emailing you an appointment, don't think that you're in trouble or like going to the principal. My goal is to just get face to face with you so we can strategize on how to make the next 90 days work for you with your schedule, with your family and things like that. So is everybody kind of clear? I want to make sure you email me your username and your password for your database. When I send you, if you can book a coaching session or if I book one for you, I'd love for you to accept that and then show up. And then we'll kind of keep smashing our goals and heading into the 2019. All right. So that's kind of what I had on the agenda, is just focus on those 6 things, is to make sure that we really know what appointments we need. And it comes down to number 6, which is the appointments. And if you're struggling with hitting those appointment goals, that's where you and I need to talk about your 3 pillars. Of lead gen. Are we doing them at a high enough level? Do you not feel comfortable? Is there scripting we need to do? So make sure you know that I'm there for you, and I'm going to, really, my job is to push the activities, not necessarily push you. So it's not going to be that I'm going to beat you over the head and make you do something. And yet we need to find the right activities that fit your personality, fit your skill set, and yet hit the goals. All right. So that is it for this 25, 30-minute call. Anybody have any questions or comments? No? All right, well, that's pretty much it. I'm going to stop recording. I'll send this out to you guys so you guys can review it. Other than that, have a great Wednesday. We do have Power Hour at 12 o'clock, so you have plenty of time to get dressed and come into the office. I'll see you guys upstairs in the training room at 12, and I'll talk to you guys later this week. All right? Bye, guys.